Alright, how's it going everybody or anybody who's watching? This is Matthew and I've got something I've been kind of putting off for a while, something I've been wanting to do for a while. I think I've mentioned before, I have a ton of really good, I guess arguably, in my opinion, really good replays on this team that I have, a really good team that I think is really good, a really fun team that I have. And I've been putting it off for a while because I'd have to, it was a bunch of stuff and I've been kind of really busy, so yeah, I guess that's my excuse. So I haven't, I guess, recorded and commentated and talked about them, and I didn't really want to just put replay with music because, yeah, I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to at least, explain. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be long, so what I am going to do is I'm going to put a kind of table of contents at the beginning. Yeah, basically that. It'll be like a table of contents with the time to go to the start of any battle and a little bit of a description for each battle, so you can skip anything that looks uninteresting, and yeah, I suppose so, or I guess just skip the entire video if you think it'll look boring, but that's basically my plan. But I kind of tried to pick the six kind of, not, it doesn't have to be the best battles, but the six battles that I think kind of showed off the team and showed off the sets quite well. Six battles at least that I really enjoyed. Let's put it like that, I suppose. Because like I said, they may not be the best. If you may not think they're the best, but I enjoyed them. I thought they showed off the sets quite well. So yeah, I'll go into them. Alright, so the first battle we have right here against Dylan 15. Like I said, I've been waiting to put this one up for a while, and this battle was one of the reasons I actually really wanted to make this video, was just because this battle was really a good opportunity to really show off the sets, to really show off my my fun sets that I had. He actually had quite a few fun sets of his own. Fun doesn't mean bad, fun just means, or I guess innovative or original or new or something like that. But the thing about ice types is they're really good against my team. And whenever I see an ice type, well, I say ice types meaning Abomasnow, Piloswine, or Aurorus, because those three are really good against my team. But whenever I see them, I kind of freak out and get afraid of them, I suppose. So I think I played a little bit not very good at the beginning, but I will explain as I go, I guess, how I compensated for that. So people like to leave with Piloswine, and Abomasnow can quite easily take an Avalanche, so I'm going to leave with my Abomasnow on the Piloswine. I'm just going to Giga Drain to get as much damage off as I can, as I expect him to go for rocks, because I do want to get as much damage as I can off. But he actually reveals the superpower, and I've never seen that on a Piloswine in NU in my life, so that's actually really, really cool. In my opinion, that's very, very cool. I think that's really cool. I'm not going to go for rocks because, I mean, I kind of thought he might just go for Ice Shard just to get damage off, even though he's minus attack. He might just stay in on me going for rocks, so yeah. I didn't want to risk that, so I didn't. I do get a little bit of damage off on Shift 3, which is kind of cool. And I go into this, which is my my Shift 3 counter anyways. I U-turn. He actually thought it was a over-prediction on my part, but it wasn't, because he guaranteed lives it, and Archeops is literally the only way I can win. But he ends up burning me, which actually kind of sucks, because now, like, Poliwrath walls me, because I am physical, as you probably know from my set. So I just go for Zen Head, but I was kind of, like I said, I didn't play amazingly at this part. I mean, yeah, like, in theory, he probably should have scouted anyways, but yeah, I didn't go for U-turn. I end up going for U-turn here as the Rodent comes in, and I go into Skunk Tank, and he's actually Scarf. My best plays, the majority of the time, is just going for Crunch, because they, like, Pursuit is the move that Skunk Tank always goes for, so, I mean, going for anything else isn't really the best. Going for Trick or Wisp is pretty much always the best play, because, you know, Pursuit is just so common. So for that reason, Crunch is usually the best, because Crunch plus Pursuit kills. I just Crunch again as the Poliwrath goes, then I go out into Float Soul as Megmortar comes in. Float Soul, I don't want to risk him having Thunderbolt, so I am going to switch just in case as he goes into the Poliwrath. I can take a Scald, and I can get Rocks up here, because he doesn't defog on very much of the team, and if I get Rocks up, then all these switches that we're making are going to be a bit more punishable, so it's going to work out just a little bit better. So yeah, that's basically my thought process. My quote-unquote counter to this, to Poliwrath, is Floatzel. So yeah, we take the circle throw, we get a good amount of damage. Unfortunately, he circle throws me into this, which I cannot kill him at all, so he is able to rest up. I mean, there was like only one thing he could have thrown me into that I'd be able to kill Poliwrath, so it was in his favor anyways. So unfortunately, yeah, that's not what happens. He's able to rest up. He's gonna circle through, get the circle throw off the rest and throw me out into Sandslash. There's like a 1 in 3 chance that I can get an EQ damage off here, and it's not what happens. Which, I mean, it's not really something to be mad about. So yeah, but the thing that I'm starting to notice is, like, this may seem like I'm really behind right here because it's 4 on 5. Mesprit's burned. Floatzel here is really low, so it might seem like I'm really behind right now against him, but the thing that I've kind of noticed at this point, like the turn before he switched into Clefairy, is if I can weaken the Poliwrath, I can actually just win with Archeops, because what's it called? His Piloswine's really low, and I outspeed everything else, and pretty much 1v1 everything else. Shiftry, Megmortar, Arceus is my quote-unquote Megmortar counter anyways, so if I can get Poliwrath in range of Acrobatics, I'm pretty sure Arceus can just win. So for that reason, my main goal right here is just going to be trying to weaken the Poliwrath as much as I can. So yeah, gonna switch out here because, well, he's going to T-Wave. It doesn't matter what he really went for, but going into Mesprit lets me Healing Wish up the Floatzel, and he's going to bring back in his Poliwrath, which is, well, I mean, I go for T-Wave here, but he brings back in his Poliwrath, which is really good because it means now I can Healing Wish. It means he takes Stealth Rock's damage right here. He wakes up. Yeah. He wakes up, surprise, but we're going to be able to completely heal up Floatzel right here, and there's no real reason in over-predicting right here and going for Hydro Pump, because like I said, the only thing that scares me on his team is the Poliwrath, so as long as I can start weakening that, I'm going to be in an okay situation, so no real reason to over-predict here. However, there is reason to predict right here on the Poliwrath coming right back in, so I'm going to double out into the Floatzel right here on the Poliwrath coming in, and that works out nice for me, because I can Hidden Power Electric here, get a good amount of damage off as he circle throws me into the Archeops, and he's now in range of the Acrobatics, so it's exactly what I'm going to go for. He doesn't have a switch in for that, he'd have to be sacking anyways, so that works out very nicely for me. And he brings in Clefairy, and this is where I can actually reveal my set, because I'm Taunt Roost, so I actually 1v1 the Clefairy quite easily. As you see, that does very little, so perfect, amazing, wow, good. Hits me up with the second one. I mean, I still 1v1 this, like I said, and I still live a Moonblast, so I can taunt here pretty freely anyways. If he wants to make a double, then, not a double, if he wants to switch on my taunt, then that's okay, but, you know, I mean, I didn't really see a reason not to do that. Taunt lasts for another turn, so I can roost up to as much HP as I can, I guess, manage, and I can take him out the turn after with that. So I'm at a good amount of health. I live a hit from the Shiftry, if I'm not mistaken, and I should live Shard anyways, but I mean, I want to be at a good amount of health anyways, so I go into Floatzel on the Shard. Does a crit, but I mean, it doesn't really matter anyways, and Aqua Jet is pretty much my best play anyways, because I can just Aqua Jet then make Mortar. Crit doesn't really matter because it kills pretty much anyways, so yeah, I didn't want to risk missing anything, and I didn't want him to get like a super high roll crit or something random like that anyway, so the thing about Shiftry is I do have the Skunk Tank, so if he wants to, you know, attack the Skunk Tank, he's going to pretty much be killing himself to Life Orb and Aftermath damage, and if I got parried on the Sucker Punch, I would be able to sack things until he died. Not sack things, but I would be able to sack Archeops, and he would be dying to the Life Orb recoil, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he had enough Life Orb to take that on after Aftermath, even if I didn't Sucker Punch. But yeah, I'm gonna be able to win the game with my interesting sets with the Aqua Jet, with mixed Aqua Jet, Floatzel, and Taunt Roost Archeops. So yeah, that was very good, very fun. Like I said, I really enjoyed this game, and it was kind of one of the reasons I wanted to put it up, just because it was really fun. Alright, so this next battle right here it's actually way back in the Sock Suspect test, I believe. This was I wanted to put this up because this battle was the battle that, after this battle, I actually was the highest on the ladder that I really had gotten to before, because, like I think I'd mentioned before, but I don't usually have the endurance to spend a lot of time laddering up. I usually just play a few games at a time and then just play for fun, you know? So it's, like I said, it's been quite a long time since I'd played specifically to ladder up, and I got really high. Like I said, this was top 13 on the ladder. Suspect ladder, of course, so I should probably prefix that, but I mean, it still was, I thought, pretty good, pretty, I guess, impressive enough for me, because like I said, I don't usually stay on the ladder long enough to get that high. So I got to top 13, and then I went to bed because it was really early in the morning. But so anyway, this was the battle that got me the highest I gotten on the ladder. So I actually said in the chat, I've never been this high, so if I beat you, you know, I beat my record. So obviously this man knew I was going to try to be, you know, a tryhard or something. I don't think I really make too many tryhard-ish plays anyways, but I'm going to start off. So I lead off with the Archeops on a few potential leads that he could have, one of them being the Rock's Mesprit, which, I mean, it pretty much is Rock's Mesprit. I know I can take the Ice Beam, and I go for the taunt anyways. However, he makes the right play and goes for Ice Beam, and then he makes the right play and goes for Psychic, and I don't really want to stand. I think my best play was to Roost here, because people like to U-turn after they do that amount of damage anyway, so I do make a not good play by going into Skunk Tank there. My best play probably wasn't to do that thing. Go for the Sucker Punch, get 53% off, and I'm going to be able to live the Fire Blast, because I am Assault Vest, and I actually make a over prediction here, and I went for Pursuit. So I wanted to style, and unfortunately that did not work out for me. So I bring in Floatzel here, and I'm just going to Baton Pass on the Lantern coming in, which works out quite well for me, because I can go into Abomasnow here and kind of get a kill. I go for Sub, which probably wasn't the best play, because if I weakened Lantern anyways, I would be in a better situation for Floatzel and Archeops, so that probably wasn't the best play for me anyway. But it doesn't go into Pyroar, I guess, thinking I could be a very, I could have a lot of HP investment, I suppose, is the thought process, but yeah, he doesn't go into Pyroar, so he isn't able to Hyper Voice me. And I'm able to basically kill the Skunk Tank. That is a ton of damage to the Skunk Tank, so it works really, really well for me. I've been seeing a lot of mixed Skunk Tanks out there, and or it might even be fully specially offensive, so that's of course always cool. I can go for Rocks because he dies to Hail, or he dies to Rocks on re-entry, and of course he's going to make the Mesprit play to get his own Rocks up. I probably could have just stayed in and knocked off. Yeah, I probably could have. Based on the damage from Archeops, I thought he was offensive and like fully speed investing, because I'm not fully speed, so I thought he would outspeed me, but turns out he's not a full speed investment, so that works out not very well for me, because I kind of have to sack by going right back into the thing that I just switched out on. So yeah, that works out really bad for me, and my Skunk Tank is dead, so my quote-unquote counter to this is dead anyways. I think the reason he makes this play here, he goes for Leaf Blade, is because he lives U-turn, and after taking a U-turn, he, whatever berry he's, like, a lot of them carry, like, Citrus Berry, like the Unburden sets for whatever reason, so if he's Citrus Berry, which he is, by the way, U-turn puts him in range of Citrus Berry, and, you know, it procs it, and it gives him Unburden, and it means, you know, he gets Unburden, and he's faster than, like, I don't know, Scarf, I don't know, some random Scarfer. So, you know, I guess he goes for Leaf Blade to try to weaken off the Mesprit, which works really, really nice for me, because I can T-Wave him, and I haven't shown T-Wave, so I guess that's why it worked out for me. So I can U-turn, and like you see, it puts him in the Unburden, which is really good for me, that yeah, I'm able to T-Wave that, because like I said, this thing is so good against my team. Sceptile is a god, so Yeah, he doesn't really have a solid switch-in. His switch-in is sacking Skunk Tank or something like that, but he is paralyzed with the Sceptile, so there's not really much he can really do with it anyways. Because my Mesprit was faster, I'm assuming he's running a lot of bulk, not just speed creeping something, so I'm able to outspeed it. Giga was a better play because, I mean, I died to Life Orb if I went for Blizzard anyway, so I might have gone. It was better just to go for any potential roll anyways. Now, this play right here is basically what changed the game. If you look right here, he's, it looks really, against my favor right here as well, because he's a Lantern and I have a Floatzel and an Archeops. Not only is that a thing, he also has, it's also 4 to 3 right here, and Mesprit is at half health, so it looks really bleak at the moment, but the thing is, I can win again with Archeops if I play this very smart. So I go into Mesprit because his best play is kind of to go into Lantern in case I go into Archeops, or to Floatzel because he can always sack Skunk Tank if he doesn't like the matchup. And yeah, like that's basically the best switch in for him because Scyther and Pyro would have to take rocks damage, super effective rocks damage, and if he has an unfavorable matchup, then he'd be just taking 25 to 50% for basically nothing. I guess the also potential play was to just sack Skunk Tank right there to see what I went into, but goes into Lantern because it's quite a good switch against my team, and this is basically, like I said, my opportunity right now to go for Healing Wish because Archeops is low, so I mean it's in Defeatist range, so that's what I'm going to go for. He's going to switch out, which is exactly what I thought he would, and he takes more rocks damage, which is, you know, perfect for me. So I'm going to Healing Wish, and I'm going to Healing Wish up my Archeops, as we see right here, which is yeah, that's pretty perfect. So he takes more rocks damage. I take rocks damage, but because I'm not bad and I, you know, am able to do my HP EVs, I'm going to be above Defeatist when I come back in. So go into Floatzel. If I'm not mistaken, I live a Volt Switch from that range from just a standard Lantern anyways, so that worked out for me. Either way, that he didn't go for Volt Switch. He goes for Volt Switch now, but I am able to get a good amount of damage off with Hydro Pump, and he's going to be taking rocks damage when he comes in, which means he's going to die to Acro / U-turn / whatever I go for from Archeops, so that works out for me. I go for Roost in case he is Scarf. I think that was my best play, and I mean, it kind of works out because I'm at like 3% higher than I was before, but I don't know, I thought it was a play that was worth risking just in case he was, you know, Scarf and, I don't know, Banded, Quick Attack, so I don't know, something on Scyther. So yeah, that's why I went for that, and he ends up forfeiting because, like I said, the calcs were to be able to kill the Lantern, so yeah, I mean, that was my best play anyways, to go for any, like we saw right there, he turned out to be Scarf Scyther, but Archeops is, well, Archeops is really good, so yeah, that's the second game that my Taunt Roost Archeops has worked out for me, so yeah, really good, very happy with that. Alright, so the next game right here is actually, there's a really was part of this game that I may upload as a very small clip, just specifically the clip, just for fun, because I thought it was a really cool thing that happened this game, I think. So I won't really spoil it. I'll just jump into it. What happens? So I lead off with the Skunk Tank on a potential Mesprit lead. That's not what he leads with. He leads with the Hitmonchan. So I'm gonna go into Mesprit, which is my quote unquote answer to this, anyways. So that works out, of course, for me very nicely. Just going to U-turn here, the Scyther ends up being his switch of choice, so that works out kind of nicely for me as well, because I can go into the Archeops right here. And as he switches into his Mesprit right here, I'm going to go for my U-turn, kind of thinking the Lantern might be the switch, but he does end up going into the Mesprit here. So I go into Skunk Tank, and I'm going to just crunch, because they like to run Culver Berry, and they like to Rocks first turn, but he ends up going for the U-turn, so at the very least, we were able to break the Culver Berry, which is really good. Now, I 1v1 this, so long as, like, I don't get burned first turn. Even if I get burned second turn, I guess I can still 1v1 it. However, I do get Scald Burned on the first turn, and I don't poison him on any of these turns, so really unfortunate, because this was really good for Shiftry, this was really good for Mesprit, and it was a decent backup for Pyro, and like I said, it could do pretty well against Lantern, assuming we didn't get burned. Mesprit was more important than Skunk Tank, that's why I didn't save it for Healing Wish. So yeah, unfortunate that had to happen right there. I have a bad habit of subbing on Lanterns as they go into Pyro. I actually don't think I've had it happen very often where I sub and then they go into Pyro, in all honesty, on a Lantern. So yeah, that's basically the thing. But yeah, I have a bad habit of just subbing on Lanterns as I expect them to not stay in. But yeah, I should probably not do that. So Focus Punch does a ton of damage to the Hitmonchan, because yeah, they like to, if this is his switch in to Abomasnow, then kind of implies it's Assault Vest anyways, so yeah, that works out. Gonna go for the Zen Headbutt as he brings in Pyro, I guess expecting a U-turn. Now, I want to keep Mesprit healthy because I want to live a knockoff / Sucker Punch from the Shiftry, so I go into my counter, which is the Archeops, and that does very, very little. So yeah, Archeops is a god. Bulk Chops is, it's pretty good, it's pretty good. No real reason not to Acrobatics, because, I mean, Lantern is pretty weak, and I can, do some things to it if need be. Mesprit comes in, I'm just going to weaken it off a little bit more. It's already weak enough that it doesn't really do very much to my team, as yeah, he hits me up with the yellow. However, we got that Sand Slash, doesn't really care about that, so we can go for Rocks right here, as that hits a ton of things on his team, and I can live the next hit right here and go for a knockoff. However, I guess he's running a lot of bulk because he's able to live that right here. Now, you want to see some real man plays right here. I mean, not real man plays, but you want to see, this is the greatest turn that's ever happened in the history of Pokemon right here. So he's gonna go for those rocks on the last turn to be able to kill me the next turn. I'm gonna get the rapid spin kill and remove the stealth rocks. So yeah, that was pretty fly. That was if I do say so myself, that was very good. So Shifter comes in. There's no reason for me to not spam stealth rocks because it hits so much on his team for a lot of damage. So it's exactly what I'm going to do. He's going to knock off and yeah, take a little bit more of that there Life Orb recoil right there. Archeops can, like I said, live a Sucker Punch, so that's why I go into it, and I can just U-turn, and if I U-turn on the Lantern, then that works out really, really good for me, as I can follow it up with the Mesprit right here. I don't think U-turn kills from Mesprit, so that's why I go for Zen Headbutt, and able to take out the Lantern. Now, Shiftry comes in, I live knockoff. If he goes for Defog, I just kill the Shiftry and remain at a good amount of health. Like we see right here, as I said, we live the knockoff quite nice, and we're able to take out the Shiftry, and everything else is really weak to rocks, so he's going to end up hitting me up with that forfeit. I think I put him in the hospital mentally. He was just blown back by that game, so yeah, that's basically it. That was like I said, really fun game. I really enjoyed that game. The rapid spin kill was pretty fly, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so we got our next game right here. This man is rocking the Dedenne. This wasn't even a bad game, considering he has a Deden. In all honesty, it wasn't bad. I guess that's really all I can say about it. But I will just jump into the battle anyways. So I'm going to lead off with the Archeops as he leads off with the Golurk. I'm going to Acrobatics because I generally take pretty much any hit from this anyway, and I like to go for rocks. However, he does go for the Dynamic Punch over like an Ice Punch or something, so I'm not going to risk this because it's really, really good against his team, so I'm just going to go into Sand Slash. He crits me, and that's unfortunate because I'm pretty sure that's the difference between like a... Well, I don't know, it does a lot of damage, as you can see there, but I can live and get rocks up the next hit. I guess he went for Ice Punch because, from the crit, I guess he thought, it just assumed that he would have killed anyways, but I can get rocks up and then kill him with knockoff, which ends up working out quite nicely for me. But now my Kling Klang counter, quote-unquote counter, is dead, so, well, not dead, like, it's really weakened, so that's a little bit unfortunate. I go into Floatzel because he has 2 Water Absorb users, and he has, a Dedenne. As funny as that sounds. So there's no real reason to even keep Float Slow, so I can just Aqua Jet right there, which is going to, yeah, it's going to do enough that it means he can't switch, and if he wants to switch into one of his Water Absorb users, then yeah, that does a thing. Turns out he specs Charizard, so yeah, that does a ton of damage, oh my god. So I can't Roost on this, as we see. Klinklang comes in, and Klinklang can sweep my team, because Sandslash is dead, so I'm not going to let him do that, so I'm just going to taunt right here. Even though Archeops is like the win condition, I am going to taunt him because, I mean, it's definitely worth it. This thing is scary as hell. And I'm just going to U-turn into Bob Marley as he goes for the Gear Grind. Just going to T-Wave here. I mean, I guess I could have U-turned, but I didn't really want to do that in case he stayed in. Yeah, I T-Wave. Cacturn is going to take that wave and then going to U-turn and kill it. I'm not really sure what he went for. Maybe he was special and went for the pulse, but yeah, it works out in the end for me. Going into Abomasnow because it's good against anything. It means Klinklang can't set up because I can Focus Punch right here if he does go for the setup, and that's exactly what he goes for. So able to get a really good amount of damage off with the Focus Punch. He's left, I believe he's leftovers, yeah. My best play is to go into Skunk Tank. I don't particularly need it very much. If he goes for anything but the Gear Grind, then I can Sucker Punch. If he does go for Gear Grind, he dies to Aftermath, so it works out in the end quite okay for me. Yeah, so we go into the Archeops as he goes out into Den. I want to really quickly scout for the Scarf on it, just in case. I mean, I can't really kill it anyway, but like, I didn't U-turn just in case he was Scarf, is what I was trying to say. Yeah, gotta fear the Den. So he follows up with the HP Ice and is able to take me out, which is okay. And that also means that I can come into Abomasnow and reset up the hail as the hail stops. So Abomasnow pretty much walls this thing because, well, it is a Den. Den is pretty bad. He's not a attack boosting item, as we can see. So I can sub, and he should not be able to break my sub with HP Ice because it's not super effective. So able to take it out with the Blizzard, and then, well, we're able to, of course, be able to 1v1 the Jinx as well, because it is a Jinx and we are in Abomasnow, and even if he pairs me like twice, I can U-turn twice with Archeops. You know, U-turn, sack, Mesprit, U-turn again. However, we don't need to because we don't, Yellow Magic does not come through, and we're able to take him out. Alright, I think this might be the last battle that I have right here. It's a not dual weather, but it's weather war that we've got going on. I've been seeing a lot of weather in NU right now, which is actually really cool. A lot of kind of sand teams, a lot of hail teams, and of course sun teams I've been seeing a lot less of, but I mean, they are still pretty decent in my opinion at least. So, oh, and of course I've actually been seeing quite a few rain teams. As funny as that sounds, I've actually been seeing a lot of rain teams. Not a lot, but I have been seeing a decent amount of rain teams, which is really cool. Like I've seen because there's a lot of really good Swift Swim users. We've got Omastar back in here, so I've been seeing a pretty decent amount of rain teams, which is really cool, like I said. So I guess I'll just start into it against this sand team right here. Oops. So I lead off with the Abomasnow because it's a good lead against a few things on his team, but he does lead off with the Meg Mortar. So I'm going to switch into my, my counter, as we see right here. That doesn't do too much damage, which is kind of nice to know. He could be Assault Vest, he could be a few other things. I'm just going to Roost right here because, well, if he goes for T-Bolt, it's not going to put me in range, and anything else, yeah. It's the best play, I think, because I need it healthy to be able to switch into it anyways. So I can I can taunt the rocks of the Hippo, and I Acrobatics because, I don't know, I probably could have or should have U-turned, but I didn't, and my thought process was, I can get a good amount of damage off on Omastar anyways. He goes for Hydro Pump as I switch into Skunk Tank, and that was a bad play on my part, because after I did that, I looked at his team, I'm like, oh shoot, he has a Sceptile, that's a bad play, so I probably shouldn't have taken that damage, but unfortunately, I end up taking that damage. So I do pull out into the Abomasnow as he goes into that, and that works out very nice for me. I'm going to sub, which is, I sub because in case he wants to stay in, it works out for me. If he wants to go into Assault Vest Meg Mortar, which is most likely what it is, then yeah, I can hit it with a Focus Punch, because it's definitely looking to be Assault Vest. He goes for the Flame Charge, which, well, I've never liked Flame Charge Assault Vest, but I mean, it is kind of a semi-common set, I think. but I've never liked this set, in all honesty. So we can go into the Floatzel right here, and I'm not going to over-predict, I'm just going to go for the Aqua Jet, which, I mean, I'd make that play a million times over, I suppose. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. I just go for the Aqua Jet, and that works out for me. He goes for the Leaf Storm, which kind of means I can Pursuit Trap it with Skuntank. Don't think it'll kill, but I can go into the Skuntank, which is the important part, and he's going to live on 4%, but it means he dies to rocks if I can get them up, because, I mean, Pursuit was always the best play because he does have the Hippopotas, which is a, you know, is pretty good answer for him to hard switch into. So I can go into Sand Slash right here. If he wants to get rocks up, I can get rocks away. Because I did such a good amount of damage to the Sceptile, he can't switch in on the Rapid Spin because he'll actually die to Rapid Spin. So yeah, Rapid Spin is pretty much always a really good play to go for. Whirlwinds me into the Mesprit. I can just U-turn right back into Sand Slash. Like, I don't really lose very much by doing that, so it's just what I do, and I can just pretty much always keep rocks off the field. Stoutland is kind of scary, but I mean, Sand Slash is a answer to it, is my like quote-unquote answer to it anyways, so gonna knock off the Choice Band, and it's a lot less threatening now. I want to keep Sand Slash because it's a good thing to be able to 1v1 his Hippo a little bit better, so go into the Archeops right here, and we're able to take that hit quite nicely. Leafy goes for the Crunch next, and I make a questionable play by going for the Roost, and I die to the Superpower, so a little bit unfortunate for me. That definitely was not the play that I probably should have gone for. Right here I probably should have tried to Pursuit it with the Skuntank, but I mean, I don't, and it doesn't really matter because it's not really that scary, but I can U-turn, and as the Magmortar comes in, I can just kill it with Hail, which is really good because Magmortar, now that Archeops is dead, Magmortar is threatening, but we're able to take out the Magmortar right there, which is really, really nice. My counter to Hitmonchan right here, as we see, is my Mesprit, so that's what I go for. I go for Zen Headbutt, even though he has a lot of, you know, very easy switch-ins, because I also have very easy switch-ins to Hippo, but I mean, I do have to take sand damage, which is, I mean, not the ideal thing to do, so not exactly, like I said, what I wanted to do, but, so yeah, like I said, it's probably not the best idea, but that's what I end up doing, and I go into Sand Slash here anyways, so like it works out because if I can keep rocks up, then I have 2 kills because Sceptile and Stoutland both die to rocks at this point. So if I can pressure rocks up, that's really, really good. And Sand Slash is good against Hippo anyways because I can knock off his Violite, I can stall out Sand, I can Rapid Spin away his rocks, and I mean, he's going to be doing a chunk of damage to me, and I'm going to be doing a small amount. I'm going to be doing, I guess, slightly more damage to him, but I mean, he has recovery and stuff, and I don't, but I guess, but I mean, anyways, he's gonna go for Slack Off here, so this is my best opportunity to bring in Abomasnow right now on his Slack Off, so that's exactly what I do, and I've showed off the sub. There's no real reason to go for sub right here, because he could just go for Whirlwind. Nothing else really comes in on Giga Drain anyways, so there's no real reason not to. Brings in Hitmonchan, and I'll gladly trade my Abomasnow for him getting rid of rocks, for him to not get rid of rocks, sorry. So yeah, I just go for Blizzard as he does go for Rapid Spin. Like I said, if he didn't go for Rapid Spin, then he would have 2 Pokemon that are just dead, and the rest of my Pokemon would be able to deal with it easily enough. So yeah, going for Blizzard right there on the Rapid Spin is pretty much always the best play. Those were pretty much all the battles, and yeah, like I said, I've really enjoyed this team. I'll probably be putting up one more live with this team in the foreseeable future, but yeah, that's everything, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next time.